Thank you, Silva. Thank you for introducing, and good evening, everyone. Well, the thing is, what I actually would like to talk to you about today is quantum physics. And the first question I'm going to ask you, what was the last book you read on quantum physics? Well, the reason why I'm asking, oh, you read one, good.
Oh my God, the grand design from Stephen Hawking.
Good one. We'll get to it a bit later. But the reason why I was asking was actually because there's this book I keep reading over and over again every single evening for the last month, more or less. Well, the truth is it's not really my choice. This is this little guy who keeps asking me to read this book. And then we would sit down and open the book and turn the pages, and I would read it aloud to him. And then when we're done, he grabs the book, he sits down, he turns pages, and tries to read. And the reason why he can actually do this is because of the way this book is composed, both verbally but also visually. And I would like to share just a few pages with you. Okay. It's not working. Do it this way. So, really simple. Here's the ball. And the ball with 0 energy. And on the previous one, you could see ball with energy. And then, yeah, again, 0 energy. And what's happening here is that the author tells us about really complex topics like quantum physics. Does it work again? Mm-hmm. Thank you. So he takes a really complex topic like quantum physics and explains it in a really, really simple manner through very basic shapes like a circle, and then he introduces a few colors, and then a few more features, few elements, and here you go. You're a little bit familiar with quantum physics already, just because you saw these pictures. And this is actually how children learn about the world around them. They look at the world, they look at their parents, they look at the bottle of milk, toys around them, also the balls with energy and 0 energy, and these things become slowly familiar to them. And once they become familiar, they start attaching names and meanings to it. And this is also exactly, well, how they learn. And they learn even not knowing how to talk or read. So they already know a lot. So if we were able to do this when we were kids, why stop now? And this is exactly how our brain works. Visual information is way easier to perceive, to digest. And actually, 70% of our sensory perception is visual. It's really simple. You can explain things easier and faster. And actually, any one of you can benefit from visual thinking, visualization on a daily basis. So I give you one example. Just imagine. You bought a new piece of furniture, say a bookshelf. You come home, you unpack the box, and what do you see? 48 parts, like dozens of screws, and then a number of wooden sticks. And on top of that, you have 15 pages of written instruction. Right? A nightmare. But luckily, the world is different nowadays. And there are companies out there, like IKEA, which make it much easier for us. Yeah, I know it's still complex, but at least you don't need to read 15 pages of text anymore, right? And also, the fact is that people using visual instructions do 3 times better than those who don't. That's a great benefit. Another example, again, imagine you're going on holidays, say to Paris, for example, and you're on board of the airplane, you sit down, you fasten your seatbelt, you relax. So what is the first thing you will do within the next 40 minutes, let's say? And I don't mean drinking tomato juice or going to the toilet. This is actually this. 97% of people, of passengers, would have a look at the safety instruction once on board of the airplane. And just imagine, this is all written text, right? You would probably never ever read this. And the fact is that actually, when you even read, you perceive letters and words through pictures. And we can quickly test this. And this doesn't work again, but we still test this. Somebody can read this aloud for me, please? Oh, I'll go back. Good. Now, so this you can probably read for me. Can you? Anyone? What does it say? So, intelligence is the ability to adapt to change. Stephen Hawking, back to your book. So what's happening here? You were able to identify the symbols, which are not letters actually, and you could adapt to this change and translate them, these visuals, into letters and words. And this is exactly how you were able to read it. And it happened really fast, despite the fact that you don't have only letters here. So pictures are the fastest way to deliver information, to make things simple and clear and create common ground. And these principles we use a lot in the strategy team at Ginetta. For example, with such a complex task, when we need to look at the customer needs, to see what customers say, to talk to the stakeholders, and to create a customer journey. So we could land with this, piles of reports and insights analysis, but it's not what we start with. What we start with is this. We right away create customer journey, but visually. We look at the stages the customer goes through along the journey, and then we identify goals along of each stage of this journey. Look at them really precisely. What do customers really want while they consider or take a decision? Along the way, we actually draw the storyline. So we make it really visual so that the client and we together with the client can understand what are all these steps the customer goes through. Then we look at the touch points, how exactly this communication happens. Is it via phone? Is it a desktop? Or maybe it's in-person communication? All of that we picture in the customer journey. Then we look at the pains. When does customer suffer? When is customer happy? And based on all this information, we also draw emotional journey, which is really key. And in the end of the day, people are driven by emotions in their decisions a lot. So that's how we do it. And another example, another complex task, maybe not quantum physics, but still very complicated, is when we design product strategy, for example. And we look at the product, but we never look at it in an isolation. It's always looking at the business model, revenue streams, logistics, distribution, different stakeholders, and the role of customer in all of this process. And we bring these things together and visualize them. And by the way, this is a real example from the real pharmaceutical client. So we make things clear right away. We create common ground for discussion, and that's how it works. We also do it digitally a lot to enable remote collaboration, nowadays really important. We do it through our digital tool in Miro. And there it can be the entire product strategy with all the stages and development scenarios, or it can be a preparation for a workshop where we describe all the goals we want to achieve through the workshop, participants, challenges, and expectations. And we can do it both virtually on the call or print it out and go for a live workshop. And it works pretty well. Really well. So if you use the benefits of visual thinking at work, you can really achieve a lot and benefit in many ways. One is simplify things and create clarity. The other one is you can better guide your audience and convince the stakeholder much faster and much easier. Also, you create common understanding. And what's also very important, you can do it really fast. So let me give you maybe another, sorry, that was fast. I can give you another proof that a picture is worth 1,000 words. And you have seen a sneak peek already, but we try it again. So what have you seen? Horse, right. But that was slide number 2. What was there on the slide number 1? So it was a text. But the fact is that on both slides, you've seen a horse. Just in the first case, it was a written description of the horse. In the second case, it was a picture. And you can grasp it just like this. So visuals are really powerful. They save time and then create common understanding really fast. So by this time, I hope you're already convinced how powerful visual thinking and visualization can be. And I just want to encourage you to use this powerful tool in your daily life, like talking to your kids and explaining complex things, but also at work, catching up with your colleagues and explaining them something on a high level, but also in the workshops or explaining, presenting financial results. And you can go for it. You can do it really easily. All you need is a marker, maybe a flip chart, a piece of paper, and you can really visualize complex things. So I want to ask you one question. How many of you can draw? And designers are not allowed to respond. Yeah, 1, 2 hands, but don't be shy. Actually, I'm going to prove to you that it's really easy. And any one of you can draw really complex objects, really complex stuff in no time. Let's try it. So I hope like every one of us can draw a line. Really simple, just one line, right? And if you drew one, you can even go for 2. It's easy. We made 2, yes. And then, okay, let's go even for 4. Next level. And even one line is longer. Does it already make any sense to you? Maybe not yet. So therefore, we add, somebody maybe start guessing what it is. So we have a triangle. And then, we have an oval. And then we add another triangle, a few more, and a circle, right? What we did, we created a horse together in no time. And with this really simple shapes, triangles, lines, circles, you can actually draw anything. It can be a horse, or a complex infrastructure, or interaction with clients. Everything's possible. So I just encourage you to go for it, to take a pen, to take a marker, to draw it, to use the power of visual thinking. And maybe then you can even become a little bit of quantum physicist, just like my little son Leon did.